Hey folks, Dude here, and well, it's going to be kind of a cool momentous occasion because you now can get Coca-Cola with sugar in the United States yet again. Now the thing is the classic way to get Coca-Cola with sugar was, well, you got to set your time machine back to pre-1984, and of course New Coke and that debacle and all the rest of that happy horse crap, but they very much foisted upon us the new stuff that just flat out sucked before they revived the old classic Coke. Classic Coke. Not so good, because it contains high fructose corn syrup, and it's horrible, nasty, icky stuff you don't want to drink. Now, in a description, I'll put right here, of course, in the video description, and of course, link and all the rest of that good stuff. You guys can see my classic video where I pretty much combined me trying sugar Coke, sugar Mexican Coke, Pepsi throwback, and I believe it was Mexican Pepsi. I compared them all side by side. I forget which, it's an older video of mine, so I'm just kind of going like, off the top of my head. But anyway, the case in point is essentially, I don't drink sodas with high fructose corn syrup. It is nasty, icky, horrible stuff. The worst thing you can do is introduce your body to Mr. High Fructose Corn Syrup simply because it gets to your bloodstream. It does all kinds of, Frankensteinian type of nasty stuff to your blood chemistry. And the other insidious fact is, it is a thirst provoker. It gets in there, the little molecule goes, hey, well, there's all this nice water in here. Let's just get that out of here, and I'll replace you with me. And it makes you get dehydrated. In the process of getting dehydrated, of course, you get thirsty. So what do? You pound down another high fructose corn syrup laden sugar, and then another, and then another, and then another, and before you know it, you have the forest fire, and you go, I know, I'll put it out with a nuclear weapon. Not good stuff. You don't want to drink high fructose corn syrup in quantity, volume, or any part thereof. Horrible, nasty, icky stuff. Bakers love it because the shelf life goes through the roof. The guys that actually do make soda love it for one very good reason. When you make soda from sugar, you have to take powdered sugar, literally like, granules of powdered sugar. You have to mix it with water to make a syrup. You take that syrup, you mix it with your own syrup. Of course, you have sweet syrup, and you now can turn that into carbonated soda. Part of the process therein is, of course, you can truck in high fructose corn syrup, literally as a syrup. The stuff is very thin, pretty much about the consistency of, like, corn syrup. It's very easy to deal with. You can pump it around, make it do whatever you need to do. But literally, you see a tanker truck pull up, stops. They hook up to it, they suck it down, and the bulk tanks are good to go. Same thing with rail cars. Rail cars could just pull up on the rails, stop, hook up to it, suck the tanker down, put it in a bulk tank, make gallons and gallons and gallons of soda without having to take powdered sugar, add it to water, mix it all up, get it in the solution, and then, of course, make their soda from that. Well, that's part of the problem, of course, with high fructose corn syrup, is it's so attractive to these guys. Price point is actually somewhat more than actual sugar, but actual sugar is way too expensive because we have tariffs on it to make it more expensive coming in from, like, South America and, other places around the world. Their sugar prices are nothing compared to ours because our tariffs actually make white sugar very expensive. Now, like I said in that video I referenced a little while ago, there actually is a difference between the Mexican Coke and the Mexican Pepsi versus the American Coke and the American Pepsi if they were sweetened by sugar side by side. Throwback Pepsi actually is made with sugar. They don't call it Throwback Pepsi anymore. Now just say, it's sweetened with sugar. It's a can, looks very much like standard Pepsi. They're both blue. They're not red, white, and blue any longer, but it's the same stuff, pretty much. I think they gave it a slight flavor tweak. But anyway, so these things side by side, the difference between the Mexican variety and the American variety is the American variety is different because the Mexican variety uses something called turbinado sugar. Turbinado sugar is white sugar where they leave some of the molasses in there and don't give it the final processing. So when you see like Mexican guys when they have that big block of the brown sugar, it's like literally almost like a small dinner plate of that stuff. I forget what the Mexican name is for it, Spanish name, but the kicker is they take this stuff, they break off pieces, they put it in their drinks, what have you. That's how they get their sugar. They don't use like powdered sugar like we do with spooning in white sugar and all the rest of that good stuff. No. So the American Coke versus the Mexican Coke and American Pepsi versus the Mexican Pepsi, it will always taste different because that turbinado sugar gives it a molasses tweak. Like your classic chocolate chip cookies, they add some molasses to it. It gives a different flavor profile. Kind of gives this little background, kind of like caramelly thing, and it's one of these little hard to be tangible to describe, but the taste. Okay, if you've eaten chocolate chip cookies, that's why it has that very distinctive flavor. It's the molasses and the vanilla and all the rest of that good stuff making it all work, and chocolate chip cookies just rock. But anyway, so the American products are not sweetened with sugar, except with some very glaring exceptions. Now, Coke, for instance, they pretty much are very arrogant. They're like, you know what? If you want Coke with sugar, go buy the Mexican stuff. As a matter of fact, they're actively importing the Mexican Coke for you to consume in the United States. Buck a bottle, tastes pretty good. I mean, it's different. It's not the same thing as American Coke of the classic era. When I was growing up and I was drinking, Coca-Cola with sugar, it's different, man. It is not the same thing coming from Mexico. Now, the thing is, there is actually a sweetened Coke now variety that's been available. And the variety I'm going to tell you guys about is Coca-Cola Life. So, they say that this stuff is sweetened with cane sugar and stevia. Now, stevia is actually really not bad stuff. I mean, you pretty much take a plant, you squish it, you condense it, you make it into a powder. It's a really fine white powder. It's perfectly safe for you to ingest stevia. It's not harmful whatsoever. The stuff's great. You find it on your shelves and everything. To others, to me, it doesn't taste good. It tastes very tinny, kind of artificial sweetener tasting. It's a natural product, but it really just doesn't taste good to me. So, case in point, this does contain sugar, so it's safe for me to drink. So I'm going to drink this and let you guys know what I think. Okay, now I've heard it described when it's done tasting side by side as it kind of has like this creamy thing going on in the background. That's true. Now, the problem is also it tastes like stevia. I don't like stevia, man. Now, I can tell you for a fact, the bottle, of course, is open. Mrs. Dude and I have done some extreme testing, and for you guys, we pretty much have, we've fallen on the swords. The way that we tested this stuff is we mixed the classic Jack and Coke, like Jack Daniels mixed with this Coca-Cola Life. And I can tell you for a fact, this stuff does not play well with Mr. Jack Daniels. Not at all, man. It's rank. It's just really, really bad. So anyway, we mix a glass of this stuff up, and Mrs. Dude's kind of adventurous. She'll drink, Jack and Diet Coke. She's trying to save a few calories. And that is kind of cool about this product. You can see this product is actually showing at 160 calories versus standard Coke being 240 calories for a 20-ounce bottle. Good stuff. You're saving 80 calories. Bad stuff? It tastes like stevia. Ugh. It does not work with Mr. Jack Daniels whatsoever. Now, the cool thing is, it is a sugared product. The bad thing is, it's a stevia and sugared product. If you guys find this stuff and you want to give it a whirl, you probably could try it safely, and, well, I think you might enjoy it. I don't enjoy it because it contains stevia. Not good. I'm not going to drink this stuff much anymore, if ever. But it was a curiosity thing, so I wanted to give it a try. All right, folks, I'm going to break off with this one. Eat good, keep the tongue ring as always. Stevia-laden sodas. No. Swing and a miss. See you guys. We'll break off on this one. Eat good, keep the tongue ring as always. Not this one. See you guys.